Brought to you by JMR Rentals, professional digital cinema and broadcast equipment rentals in Brooklyn, New York. JMRNY.com. And now get 15% off your first rental when you use the promo code WEEKEND. Call 347-721-3400 or email info@jmrny.com for details. Hello and welcome to No Rest for the Weekend, where we go behind the scenes and talk to the creators of independent entertainment. I'm Jason Godbey, and today on the program we got some indie film news for you with our film festival report. We have a preview of some upcoming film festivals, and later we'll be taking a look back at 2019, the last time we were on a red carpet for Bushwick Film Festival and Soho International Film Festival. But first, we have a couple of film fests to recap from this summer, starting with World Webfest Mania. As reported on our website in August, World Webfest Mania was back in a theater for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic. This year, the festival was a hybrid of some works streaming online and also screening at the Wild Project Theater in Manhattan. We were lucky enough to have our own project, BTRP TV, screen there on the closing night of the festival, and I have to say it was pretty awesome to be back in a theater seeing a work on the big screen. At the end of the evening, awards were presented to the outstanding projects and screenplays. Best Pilot went to #Richie Needs a Wife, directed by Rich Devaney. Best Short was awarded to Seven Fishes, directed by Jacqueline Gramina. And Breaking and Entering, directed by Heather Spilkin, took home the award for Best Series. In the screenplay competition, Plum Nasty by Derek Mendel won for Best Short Screenplay, and Coney Island by David Toussaint won the award for Best Feature Screenplay. Festival founder Joffrey Guerrero, who hosted the screening and award ceremony, remarked, "It was great to be back in person for year 3 of World Webfest Mania. There's nothing like being in a movie theater with talented creatives watching their works on the big screen and hearing their war stories during the Q&A. It was a fun night, and I can't wait to be back for 2022. The Greenpoint Film Festival launched on September 2nd with a pre-festival gala at the Polish Consulate in New York City. The evening began with live music from a jazz quartet, and renowned filmmaker Andrzej Krakowski gave a talk about the significance of Polish cinema on Hollywood and the Oscars. Festival director Anthony Argento was on hand to thank the crowd for coming out despite the disastrous flooding from the previous night. "I'm amazed and grateful for everyone who showed up tonight despite the hurricane. I'm honored and so excited for our film festival." Last year, the Greenpoint Film Festival was innovative in its approach by holding the festival as a drive-in event. This year, the festival was back in theaters screening nearly 40 films consisting mostly of shorts, including a special Polish program. For more Greenpoint Film Festival, check out episode 902 of the cast featuring my interview with Anthony Argento. You can also visit the festival website, greenpointfilmfestival.org. Up next, we have our Fall Film Festival preview. This year, we've got some festivals that will be in a theater, some will be going virtual, and some will be a hybrid of the two. Coming up in October, first up, we got Brooklyn Horror Film Festival. The 5th edition of Brooklyn Horror Film Festival will run from October 14th to the 21st. Screenings will be held in several venues around Brooklyn, including the Nighthawk Cinema, Williamsburg Cinemas, and the Stewart Cinema. The lineup will include 14 feature slots and 6 short programs. Festival programmer Joseph Hernandez had this to say about this year's festival. "We're beyond excited to be back with another in-person edition of Brooklyn Horror and have the opportunity to reconnect with NYC audiences again. Expect a slightly more scaled-back affair this time around with the same level of fire, spotlighting local talent alongside some of the best horror and breakout genre films from around the world." We covered Brooklyn Horror Film Festival way back in 2019 with some reviews by E.J. Argenio, so check out episode number 608. And for more details on this year's festival, visit their website, brooklynhorrorfest.com. Also coming up in October is Stareable Fest. The 4th edition of Stareable Fest is set to run on Thursday, October 14th to Sunday, October 17th. They're billing this year's fest as a 4-day celebration of excellence in independent television, brought to you by the largest community of web series creators. According to the festival's website, they will be going virtual again this year. Each year, Stareable creates networking opportunities for creators to be discovered by their industry partners. There will be a number of virtual events, including an awards ceremony and their 90-second pitch competition. Last year, I had the opportunity to interview festival director and CEO of Stareable.com, Ajay Kishore. Check out that episode 803 of the show to learn more about Stareable Fest. You can also visit their website, stareablefest.com. Also running from October 14th to the 17th, the Chelsea Film Festival is back as a hybrid event with in-person screenings at the Regal Union Square in New York City, while also making their full program available online. The festival was founded by Ingrid and Sonia Jean-Baptiste with the mission of giving voice to the unheard and providing a platform for independent films and discovering new talents. This year's program promises to highlight local and international features, short films, documentaries, and virtual reality from independent and emerging filmmakers. For more info, visit chelseafilm.org. Also in October, we have the 14th annual Bushwick Film Festival, running from October 20th to the 25th. In 2020, that festival, like many other festivals, went virtual for the first time. According to the festival's social media, they will be doing a hybrid event this year. We covered the opening night of the festival in 2018 and 2019 when it was held at House of Yes in Brooklyn. As of this taping, they have not announced a venue for 2021, but here's a look back with our own Lindsey Aster on the red carpet in 2019.
Good evening, I'm Lindsey Aster. Welcome to No Rest for the Weekend's coverage of the 12th Annual Bushwick Film Festival. I'll be talking with some of the filmmakers, so make sure to stay tuned. Hi, I'm here with Erick, Ulbrich, and Kylie Eaton from the short film Dispel. Guys, how does it feel to be at the opening night of the Bushwick Film Festival?
We're really excited. We're really excited to have Dispel playing tonight before the feature. It's our East Coast premiere, so we're super excited to share it with everybody.
That's amazing. Tell us about the project.
It's a fantasy short film about a 12-year-old little girl and her mother who she sees as a monster from her favorite fantasy TV show. So it's a little bit, for families, it's also a little bit of a deeper meaning if you're an adult and you can kind of read into it. So it'll be a fun crowd to see how they react.
What message do you want us to take away from your film?
I think the message we want people to take away is, imagination is great, and as well as learning to have compassion for people in our lives who are suffering.
That's an amazing message. How can we follow your project on the web?
You can find us at Dispel Short Film all across social media and dispelshortfilm.com.
I'm here with Cody Stokes. He is the co-writer and director of tonight's feature film, The Ghost Who Walks, premiere opening night of Bushwick Film Festival. So, how does it feel to be here?
Great. It's a great honor to be here tonight. We're really, really excited to be showing not just as opening night film, but as part of the Bushwick Film Festival in general.
It sounds amazing. Just for anyone watching, it's actually pouring here right now. So it feels wet to be here, but also amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about The Ghost Who Walks.
So The Ghost Who Walks is a crime drama about a father who gets out of prison and is trying to find his daughter. So it takes place over 48 hours, and in order to get out, he had to rat out his former boss. So it's kind of a chase movie set at Christmas. I often pitch it as Carlito's Way meets It's a Wonderful Life, which is an odd mixture, but it's a lot of fun. I really wanted to make an emotional film, but I wanted people to have fun when they watched it. And so that's kind of how I got to the genre side of things.
That is an unusual pairing, but I like it. It makes me want to see it, for sure.
Yeah, well, and it takes place at Christmas. I love holiday films that have nothing to do with holidays, so it's a Christmas film, too.
So what is the message that you want people to take away from your film?
Well, I wrote this film when my daughter was born. I wanted to make a film about fatherhood. It was pretty certain no one wanted to watch my kitchen sink drama about fatherhood, so I wanted to make it exciting, but ultimately I kind of wanted to look at a world that was pretty classically the symbol of toxic masculinity, of all the things wrong with how some men view being men. And I wanted to really leave people with understanding that, at least in my opinion, fatherhood is not that. And so there's a way to it where it's still a lot of the tropes you see in this crime world, but ultimately the film is meant to kind of leave a lasting impression that goes far beyond that.
So how can we keep in touch with you and your project on the internet?
Look up The Ghost Who Walks on any social media, all that kind of stuff. TheGhostWhoWalksMovie.com is our website. The film will be released later this year through our distributors, so November we'll start pre-sales, and then December they're releasing the film.
We'll keep you posted as we get more updates. Visit the festival website at bushwickfilmfestival.com. Later in October, Soho International Film Festival will run from October 28th to November 1st. We don't have a lot of details as of this taping as to whether or not the festival will be an in-person event or go virtual as they did last year. We covered opening night of the film festival in 2020, where we met some wonderful filmmakers, including documentarians Cam Cowan and Julie Rowan, both of whom have appeared on the show. Check out episode 809 and 810 to learn more about them and their projects. Back in 2019, we were at Village Cinema East talking to the filmmakers on the red carpet. Here's Lindsey Aster with a look back.
Hi, it's Lindsey Aster with No Rest for the Weekend's coverage of the Soho International Film Festival. I am here with Seanie Sugrue, Victoria Meade, and Cillian O'Sullivan from the movie Misty Button. So how excited are you guys to be at Soho?
Really excited. We shot the film in New York, so it's like a home crowd for us. Really, we actually shot several scenes within a 4-block radius of here, of this theater, so it's really exciting to be back.
That's so fun. That's so fun to be back here. What
yeah,
a great
it's like a homecoming, yeah.
And you guys have a huge crowd of people here. That's incredible.
We do. Pretty much everyone involved in the film, except maybe 1 or 2 people, were from New York City or New Jersey. So we have a lot of home crowd support. So yeah, we've got a nice crowd here, good atmosphere. So yeah, it's great to be here.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about Misty Button.
Misty Button is a film set up in Woodlawn in the Bronx. It's an Irish stronghold. It's very Irish, as we all know.
It is Ireland.
It is Ireland, yeah. We call it the 33rd county. There's 32 counties in Ireland, so we call that the 33rd counties. You can buy local newspapers there and whatnot. So I lived there myself in 2005, so the whole film takes place there. And every Irish person that moves to New York lives there at some part of their existence in America.
I avoided it, but only because of the stories.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty lawless. So the film's set there. It's about 2 Irish guys. Cillian plays the lead called James, and they are asked to put a bet on a racehorse. And the racehorse is 35-1. And they end up getting drunk and not putting the bet on. And so they end up owing the mob a ton of money. So it's like a buddy dark comedy. You know? Mm-hmm.
Victoria and Cillian, can you tell us about your characters?
Yes, I play a character called Ruby, who's an adorable psychopath, basically. And I'll just say that, I think. That pretty much sums it up. There's some stuff that would give it away that I don't want to give away. So
I mean, that absolutely nails it.
That pretty much nails it, I think. Yeah.
James is a plank of wood with a drinking problem who talks all about his ambitions, but does... I can't curse, can I? Does heck all about it.
So nice of you to ask.
There's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Feck all. But that's still a curse though, right? Technically. My mother slapped the head off me if I said feck just as much as if I said oh.
So what's next for Misty Button? Do you have any distribution plans?
We're still in early days. We met our world premiere in California last March, and now we're making our East Coast premiere today. So we met our world premiere actually on St. Patrick's Day, which is very fitting. So we're thinking next March, St. Patrick's Day, we'll release the film commercially. So we're just riding the festival circle until then, and then negotiating with some distribution companies. So that's where we're at right now. Mm-hmm.
Ireland, if you're listening and you don't distribute in the hometown, you're mental. Okay?
Get RD on the phone immediately.
I mean, listen, it's full Irish humour. New York gets it. LA got it. Ireland would lap it up. Buy it! Buy Misty Button, for feck's sake.
He finally wants to put his money on it.
Yeah.
I'm here with Matt Kane, Simone Policano, and Mark Underhill from the feature film Augie, making its New York premiere tonight. How excited are you guys to be here tonight?
We're very excited, very grateful to be here. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Augie.
Augie is a grounded sci-fi drama about a man who is forced into early retirement, and he's given a pair of augmented reality smart glasses that project the image of a companion before him. and he develops a relationship with this companion to the detriment of the relationship with his wife and his daughter, played by Simone here.
How was it to work with Richard Kind?
It was great working with Richard. Yeah, he came on board. He's the first actor we got on board the film, and he was very excited to get to work on something where he could carry the arc of the film and really work in a more subtle, nuanced way. And his work in the film is beautiful. We're really grateful for it. And he really elevates, I think, the project for all of us and everyone we cast. Honestly, Simone, Susan, Kristen, everyone was they gave such amazing performances that it really made my job as a director much easier, because I was more guiding them rather than trying to force them into a shape that they weren't already taking.
Simone, tell us a little bit about Grace.
So I play Grace, who is Richard Kind's daughter. And Grace is sort of in this period of her life where she's becoming more independent and maybe isn't as reliant on her dad and her family as she once was. And she's, moving in with her boyfriend and taking the next steps in life. And she maybe doesn't need him as much. And that becomes a thing that Felix, who Richard plays, has to kind of deal with. And what does it mean when your daughter is growing up and isn't as dependent on you? And how does, your child growing up and growing away from you affect you and your own sense of what your identity is? So she is a really important part of his journey, because it's like, what does he do with the fact that he might not be as needed by his family as much? And that kind of is part of what starts to send him towards, maybe away from his family and towards this new augmented companion that he finds.
Is there anything that you guys are hoping that people will take away from Augie?
I think we're really trying to explore vulnerability and our relationship with technology for the most part. So we're kind of looking at someone who falls down the rabbit hole at a particularly vulnerable time in his life with this new technology, with this interaction with someone that he develops a relationship that he finds significant and meaningful. And as the story progresses, he realizes that maybe it isn't so meaningful, and the relationship with his wife and daughter really is crippled by his dependence on this new technology.
In 2019, we had Simone Policano and Sugrue on the show, so definitely check out episodes 521 and 611, respectively, to see more of them. Simone was also a guest on our show, Watch This Film, which is streaming right now on Footprint Network. Check out footprint.tv for our episode on Coraline. And for more information on this year's Soho International Film Festival, visit their website, sohofilmfest.com. Next up, we got NYC Webfest. In November, NYC Webfest will run from November 12th to the 14th. This will be the festival's 8th year running. Last year, they went virtual for the first time, and as of this taping, it remains to be seen as to whether or not they will be a virtual or in-person event. I reached out to festival director and friend of the show, Lauren Atkins. She had this to say about last year's fest. While we're still in the programming stage at NYC Webfest, we plan on going ahead with our 8th annual event, whether it can be held in person or not. We had a very successful virtual festival in 2020, and we'll go that route if need be in November. We're incredibly grateful to our sponsor, Spa Zuzu, located in Manhattan, and our new media partnership with Cherry Picks. Once again, our official selections are a collection of web series, pilot episodes, and short films from around the world. We can't wait for audiences to see the awesome content we'll be screening. For updates and details on this year's fest, visit nycwebfest.com. In December, Female Voices Rock will return, running from December 2nd to the 5th. Last year, they went virtual, but this year, founder and executive director Catherine Delalloy wants to do something different. She had this to say when I reached out to her for comment. In 2021, Female Voices Rock hopes to host a hybrid event, keeping a virtual program as well as physical screenings in Los Angeles, New York City, and Orlando, Florida. Films will be available online, and we plan to host a variety of virtual events, including panels and networking events throughout. For updates, visit the festival's website, femalevoicesrock.com. For all of these festivals, dates and details are subject to change. Also, for many of the in-person events, especially those held here in New York City, they may require masks or proof of vaccination. So keep that in mind if you're planning on attending. And that's all we got for you today. Thanks so much for taking this trip down the rabbit hole. For more of our content, including our movie reviews, visit our website, norestfortheweekendpodcast.com. Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And now you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/getbehindtherabbit. For Behind the Rabbit Productions, I'm Jason Godbey. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.